Good afternoon, ladies and gents. Welcome to Crypto Chat UK. I've got a small article I want to go through with you. It's just going to be a brief video today, but there is something about Bitcoin breaking a record. Now, it's something I've gone over in previous videos briefly. I want to go through this article. There's some negative and some positive on there. We possibly will go through the current market and where it's standing at the moment. To be honest, though, there's not really a lot to say. It's pretty much sideways movement. Not the volatility that we have been used to in the past, but of course, there's been a lot of that lower lows and lower highs going on when it comes to Bitcoin and the other cryptocurrencies. Yeah, still be looking at long term. There's some stuff in this article that I'm going to show you anyway. But we might come back, have a look at the market on CoinMarketCap, and we'll have a quick look at it. But let's go through this article. So Bitcoin makes a new record today. This says 10 hours ago, but I think it was longer than that. But anyway. Bitcoin today has officially entered the longest bear market ever in the 10-year history of Bitcoin. But the crypto space has never been better, with developments going at a fast pace. Now, I've actually discussed this in one of my videos about a lot of things that was going on in 2018 as well, but certainly what's heading for 2019. And that's kind of why I say we're probably looking at 2020 to 2022 and beyond for some of the huge gains. I think it might surprise us all at some point, and we might have some serious gains all of a sudden. But in general, I'm looking for that longer term, past 2020. And that, when it comes to stuff like speculation in these kind of markets, isn't really that long, to be honest. But anyway, it officially enters the longest bear market. The leading cryptocurrency has officially entered the bear market in the 10-year history of Bitcoin that has already seen 3 bear cycles. The longest one till now has been the last one between the period of December 2013 and January 2015. Now, if you look at Alessio, I looked at a video, Alessio Rastani, it's somebody who I really respect on YouTube, knows his stuff when it comes to any market, knows his stuff when it comes to TA, so technical stuff, and can read markets really well. And he does mention this, I think it's 3.25 years, he said, before actually... the last time before it actually got back to its level, so its previous high. So when there was a real bear market and real drops, some really huge drops, it took 3.25 years to get back up to that high again. Obviously, we're way past them highs of that period of time. But this bear market could match that. It could match that. Anyway, we'll see how that goes. So what it says, the longest one till now has been the last one between period of December 2013 and January 2015. It lasted about 13 months. That's what it says. Now we have set the record of the longest bear market, as after Bitcoin hit $20,000 in mid-December 2017, Bitcoin hit its 2018 lowest in December 2018 at $3,150. So yeah, I mean, from early 2017, it was still probably 3 times the amount approximately its value. But certainly from its high of $20,000 to now be down to $3,000 is crazy, isn't it? Well, it's about $3,500 now, $3,400. So in these past 411 days, Bitcoin has been a downward slope. It's been on a downward slope, and as you can see the charts there, this is perhaps the high December/January, and this is how it's been going for a considerable amount of time. We did have some upward movement at various occasions, as you can see, but basically it's just got lower and lower. So though Bitcoin has seen the longest stretch of decline prices, it is expected to test even more lows and see more pain moving forward. Currently an 82% decline from its 2017 peak at the time of writing. Bitcoin has been trading at 3,479. That's approximately what it's at now, but we'll have a look. As per the data provided by CoinMarketCap, that's what I always use anyway. Bitcoin price is expected to hit bottom in 2019. But during that process, it can easily see $2,000, $1,700, even by some analysts, $1,000. Now, I would love it if it got to there, because I will be begging, borrowing, and a lot, and buying in then at that point. My target kind of was $3,000 to buy in. It could go lower. Of course it could, yeah. I think if you look at Alessio Rastani's YouTube video, his last one that he's done on this, he also says potentially mid-2019-ish could be where the bottom arrives. It may or may not. We'll have to keep an eye on it. It'd be really worth looking at in that way, I should think. It'd be really worth considering what's going to happen after then as well. So if it does kind of follow suit in that way and copies a little bit of previous patterns, then potentially, yeah, it could be May, June, July where we get the bottom, and it could drop further. Who knows, because of development. I think it mentioned some development here. Now all the eyes are on the Bitcoin reward halving coming in 2020. So yeah, this is the rewards on mining coming to, they're going to be halved, and that comes in 2020. That could take the prices to another all-time high. We just might get to see some upward movement this year as well, if history is any indication. Now I think if that is going to happen this year, it's going to happen definitely after mid-year. So it's going to be in the third quarter. We might see some growth before then, but as always, not a financial advisor. So definitely have a look at it and have a close look at it yourself. Go and have a look at some other TA guys and just see what you think about it. But I certainly think that 2019 is going to be a struggle. I've always said this. Probably buy time. 2019 is buy time. Is get the bargain time. Even if you went in now, as far as I'm concerned, you're going to get them at bargain prices for the future, even if they drop a little bit more. So I think anything from here to whenever it starts getting the bullish movement again, or even just getting the general upward movement again, I think is probably bargain city. But we'll see how it goes out as well. However, this bear market is different from the previous ones in the way that development and innovation have never been this high in the crypto market. It's like I said earlier on. There is a lot of development going on in the background. When it comes to the basic cryptocurrency, particularly Bitcoin, is there much development that's needed? Yes, I suppose there is, as in merchants and adoption and so forth like that. But the actual technology, maybe not so. Certainly scaling and stuff like that is being worked on, Lightning Network. But there is other things with the other cryptos. So there is a lot going on in the background, a lot domestically, commercially, certainly institutionally, and even politically is going on with the cryptocurrencies. And Bitcoin is, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, sure of a bright future. So it says things haven't been better. It says for the starters, Lightning Network is progressing at a fast pace with its network capacity rising to 629 BTC and 5,848 number of nodes. The second layer to make Bitcoin and blockchain payments instant and scalable. It has more developments coming in 2019 that will make things even better. So hopefully that continues to go the right way. We'll see how that one goes as well. Economies like Venezuela, among others in South America, are also moving to Bitcoin. Moreover, crypto ATMs around the world have crossed the 4,000 mark. Yeah, I think there was a thing about New York as well where I think there's something I mentioned. ATMs are going to be starting allowed to your purchase in general. Bitcoin. So do we need a separate ATM? I think they're going to actually pair up with the current ATMs that you've got. We'll see what is happening there. I'm going to keep an eye on that as well. Big plays in terms of BAT by Nasdaq's parent company ICE and Fidelity Investments are constantly working on their crypto projects expect to launch this year. Talks about Twitter founder call for the internet currency which he thinks could be Bitcoin. On Joe Rogan Experience podcast that has over 4.4 million subscribers, Dorsey stated, I believe the internet will have a native currency and I don't know if it's Bitcoin. I think it will be, given all the tests it has been through and the principles behind it. How it was created. It was something that was born on the internet, was developed on the internet, was tested on the internet, and is of the internet. And yeah, he's very much right there. And at the end of the day, I love Joe Rogan. I watch Joe Rogan Experience. Superb guy. What a chap. Could watch him all day. Now, yeah, so that's another one that's mentioning it. Obviously, Twitter founder Jack Dorsey talking about it. It's restricted by no borders, restrained by no government or financial organization. We all know this. We all know the basics of Bitcoin. If you don't, certainly research it. Bitcoin has already paved the way for a decentralized economy. Of course it has. Yes, of course it has. Now, if we could all grasp it better, that'd be great. I know it's tricky. We talk about real money. And when people ever talk about real money to me, they always talk about the notes in the pocket. It's not real money. It's not really real money. And they talk about actually having it in the hand and stuff like that. Well, even that, even without the cryptocurrencies, without Bitcoin, that will be phased out eventually anyway. There's no doubt that it is going to become more electronic, more about credit type items, more stuff to do with online, digital currency in some way, or at least recording it digitally. We're just very lucky to have something as amazing as cryptocurrencies and the blockchain. And I think people do need to be taught it, shown it, and then actually get serious, real awareness of it. And that's what's happening with the younger generation. they're being brought up on it, and there's a lot of stuff going on. So really nice article there, good article about the negative side of the fact that it's hit a new record of being in the bearish market, the longest bearish market it's ever been in, but also a bit about development, a bit about also what's happening in 2020 when they're going to halve the rewards. So we're going to see how that goes. I have always said, certainly in this new year, that 2019 perhaps is going to be the purchasing year, certainly the first half of it, and at the end of just basically accumulating more and really focus on the fundamental cryptos. Don't forget, guys, you have got to focus on the fundamentals. If you are going to speculate on the real outward coins, that's fine, definitely do it. Have your research, do your due diligence, but just be careful out there not to put too much money into them if they're really high risk. People talk about high risk, high reward. It's not so much like that, I think, anymore. You could snap on something really lucky, of course you could. But always think about accumulating the fundamental ones, the ones that are really good. Now, I'll probably talk about that in another video. Anyway, quick look at the market before I go. Bitcoin currently on 3479 approximately, XRP on 30 cents, which I'm happy with. I did buy a bit of Stellar at just under 10 cents, and then it had a drop. So yeah, not very good that, but it's all good. It's all good. I've got plenty of Stellar, so it's all good. As always, Cardano's one of my favorites. Stellar's one of my favorites. XRP right up there is one of my favorites. But the king will always be for me Bitcoin. There is others. Like I included, I invest in Ethereum, which I'm a little bit about at the moment, but certainly is one of the big players, of course. But Bitcoin is king, and currently still on about 53% dominant. So market capitalization 114 billion. If, guys, you've got anything you want me to look at, if you've got any questions, don't forget, put me and other people to the test. We talk about how much we've learned about cryptocurrency in the last 2 years. Put us to the test. Get the questions out there. And don't come out with bold statements like, oh, Bitcoin's dead, cryptocurrency's over, it was all a big just a gold rush, and it was all this. At the end of the day, there is a lot to learn about it, and you want to get stuck in there. So ask us the questions. If you did like this video, by the way, hit the like button, please. And if you haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe and hit the notification bell, okay? And also, I always forget to say this, but please share my videos out there, and then we can get the ball going and have a big discussion, debate about cryptos, and we can see what happens in the next 2 to 5 years. Take it easy, guys. I will speak to you soon.